Hello, welcome to Halcyon Blink. My name is Lauren Rising. I'm going to be your host for this episode. And on this edition, I thought I'd talk about a trailer that I haven't had the chance to talk about so far, the Venom trailers. I think what's interesting about these ones is that they look like they're going to be somewhat of a departure from the original concept of Venom that was portrayed in Spider-Man 3, which, yeah, we can all agree wasn't great, but some people like in retrospect. They at least like the fact that he was featured somewhat prominently in the promotion and then at the back end of the film, albeit his over-characterization being that of the actor playing him rather than the character of Venom was annoying to say the least. This film doesn't look like it's going to make that mistake. When Venom's at the forefront, Venom's at the forefront. Tom Hardy is an interesting choice because up until this point as a leading actor, he hasn't really come into his own, if we're all completely honest with ourselves. Yes, Legend is an intriguing prospect and was executed well, but I would argue didn't catapult him into the stratosphere in terms of being a leading man. This film perhaps holds the key to this because it's an intriguing concept, because the characterization is different from some of the stuff he's done before. He's vulnerable, he's on the side of good initially at least, but then compromises his character as the film progresses, obviously as the symbiote takes over. The role of the symbiote in this is yet to be determined. Is it something that's been developed by a third-party company to a degree? Is it purely an alien symbiote? Who knows? But what I loved about the trailer was the use of powers, the use of the voice in his head to have a conversation and to throw the character of Eddie Brock off at every turn, to kind of sway him to the darker side of thinking, and then that end graphic of him becoming Venom and looking as imposing and threatening as he does was absolutely brilliant. The first trailer I thought left a little bit to be desired, to be perfectly honest, because they just didn't show enough to get excited. It almost felt like it was a fan-made trailer because it had very little superhero-y stuff in it. I don't know if that was intentional to just raise a bit of awareness about the film to get it out there as soon as possible, or if it was a genuine attempt to seem mysterious and somewhat circumventing the expectations of people. But when he's freaking out in the scanning booth and he's sort of, you can see some of the tentacles coming up. But by far and away the best choice they could have made is by displaying what Venom's going to look like at the end of the second trailer, because that's when everyone got super hyped. So there's talk that Spider-Man's going to appear. There's talk about how the film is going to end and be a prelude into another Spider-Man franchise. Who knows? I'm more excited about seeing what they do with Venom. Is he going to end up being an anti-hero to some degree, like he is in some of the comics, and in terms of some of the games where he starts the villain but becomes the hero somewhat reluctantly in times? Or is he going to be an out-and-out villain? Are we going to end up rooting for our first villain film? I'd kind of like to see the latter, to be perfectly honest. We have plenty of hero films as it is. It'd be kind of nice to see a character embrace the darkness and become a villain, and then have that as a prelude again into something else, like a second film where maybe he embraces some of his more heroic tendencies. Let's focus on this character rather than using him to build up something else. But that's just my opinion. So what do you think? Do you think that the Venom film is going to be something that's focusing on the character himself? Is it going to be building up to something else? Is it going to be a poorly executed a bad Spider-Man film? Are you genuinely excited for it, or are you kind of going to give it by the wayside until the reviews come in? I wouldn't blame you if you do, because Spider-Man hasn't had the easiest of goings of years. So leave your comments and your thoughts in the description below. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you think. In the meantime, please like, share, subscribe. Check out some of the other content creators in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, and as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Halcyon Blink.